But their things pretty much.
Yeah, since I have the long and short. And
Oh,
we also have
they ran the whole thing.
Well, I know, but I let him know.
Well, I make sure that, but
Make sure he has.
they did pretty well, ran most of it.
Infant courses to show where Caldwell is, where all the other courses
Yeah,
are.
that'd be good.
To show how there's no
Oh, yeah, no problem.
nobody.
Undone.
But then I'm still trying to be helpful to y'all and
Yes, they would.
I'm ready for
Yeah, well,
you.
it's-
I don't feel it. I am.
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Caldwell, Burleson County, Texas, will convene in a regular meeting at City Hall, 107 South Hill Street, Caldwell, Texas, regular meeting place thereof at 5:31 p.m., October 17th, 2023. If we can please stand for the invocation led by Ms. Rhonda Tomasi.
So Father, we come before you tonight with a grateful heart. We thank you that you have a watchful eye over both Caldwell and Texas and Israel. We thank you that thy will be done and that you release wisdom to the council members on all their decisions. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge to the American flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Do we have any citizens to be heard on agenda or city-related items? All right, on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda tonight is the consider approval of the minutes from the September meeting. It's also resolution number 202310, designating the Burleson County Tribune as the official newspaper of the city of Caldwell, Texas for fiscal year October 2023 to September 30th, 2024. And also include the adoption of resolution number 202309A1, amending the master fee schedule and exhibit A attachment. Do we have any discussion on any of the consent agenda items?
Move for approval.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of approving consent agenda items, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Next. Discuss, consider, and possibly take action regarding Texas A&M Disc Golf Club presentation on expanding and improving the existing disc golf course at Davidson Creek Park. And our guests are Josh Meek, Spencer Luton, and Dustin Sanford with Armory Disc Golf. You guys, welcome to Caldwell.
You would come forward and speak, please, sir. Where would y'all want to start? Would y'all want to start?
Yeah, we can start with the location.
Okay.
So Caldwell is located in a really ideal spot for a disc golf course. As you can see on the picture, there's not really any disc golf courses super close to Caldwell at the moment. It's also an hour and a half from Austin, only 30 minutes from College Station, and then it's also only an hour and a half from Waco. So there's big possibility for holding like tournaments that would attract people from Houston, Austin, Waco, College Station to come out and use the park and play. So that's one big thing for Caldwell.
Can you point where Caldwell is? I mean, just. Okay, but as you can see, there's just nothing in our pickleball courts have drawn people from Lexington, Cameron, Brenham even, they're coming here. So this is where the idea came up. We started several years ago to give a little history. Josh's brother was president of the Texas A&M Golf Association Disc Golf Club, and Forrest had that for Envision Caldwell, and then we got a hold of Josh, and Josh and his group have volunteered to help us with this because I'm definitely not qualified for a disc golf course. And that the more we talked, the more I realized that ours was not going to get very much attention, as it has not in the past, because the short layout and everything else. So I'll just giving them a little bit of background that why we want to try to set this up to be somewhat of a collegiate type of course, but also a course for beginners and weekend warriors. Because y'all even mentioned that as back there, you mentioned that tournaments, how you could get one on Saturday and come to Caldwell and possibly have another one. Those are the type of things that we're looking to draw. So anyway, I'll turn it over to y'all.
And then the other thing, so we're hosting three conference events this year. So there's potential for like in future years for us to be able to host a college disc golf conference events in Caldwell, which would be really cool with this course. And then additionally, it's just been a lot of fun, like getting to go out there and just like plan and design it. I've always like wanted to go out and design a course, so it's been kind of a dream come true to be able to do that.
And they backed it up. They were going out when it was 110 degrees, so with brush cutters. And here's the long course. You might explain how y'all have extended the show where the original course was briefly, and wish we had a pointer.
So here, the original course was largely in just this area. So it didn't utilize the whole park. And it's a really beautiful park. There's a lot of great scenery and just like woods out here. So with this new layout, it allows you to be able to see the whole park, and takes you kind of navigating through the woods and through everything. While also providing challenging holes for like higher level people. But then in addition, the short course provides that ability for new players to be able to enjoy disc golf and get a taste of it.
And you recommended us our total course was 2,700 feet, and you called it, I believe, a putt-putt golf course. I looked up on the course ratings. Caldwell doesn't have one, and you read it, and it said the holes are very close to one another. And so, as you said, and to explain why we're looking at possibly going from 9 to 18.
So for 9 holes, a lot of times people won't like drive to them because it's just not worth their time, as far as you only get to play like 9 holes. Whereas if you're going to like an 18-hole course, you get like twice as much time to be out there playing. So it kind of expands being worth driving. So like people from A&M, at least, we'd be more likely to come out to like play at this course if it was 18. And I think that would go the same for surrounding cities.
You want to mention how I had no idea how popular disc golf was, none. And I asked Camden, would he mind if I looked into this? And then Forrest was able to find the paperwork, as I mentioned. But it's incredible. The more I read, the it's still growing. And Janice has a little story that
At the Colach Festival, I was going to judge the antique cars, and just happened to be walking with a gentleman from Milano, and he was just bragging on the park itself and how, we just put the pickleball courts in. And I said, oh, well, guess what else we're going to be doing? Well, he got so excited and just said, I love to play disc golf. I can't wait for this to be completed. So I guess my question now is, so you've got the course designed. So what would be our next step?
Dustin, do you want to?
Yes. I think I walked the course the other day. Probably the next thing that I would recommend is figure out what the budget that the city wants to put forward. that dictates a lot of what, as far as the amenities, what you're going to do out there. Because if you have I guess it's budget related, and then what you're trying to accomplish. So if you want a top tier, like draw people from all over the state and all over the country to your course, obviously that's going to be a little more expensive. You have to think about if you're going to use the woods, how that clearing happens. All these things cost money. But if you just wanted like just a good solid course where people within an hour would want to drive in, that's another consideration. And so I think budget is probably, at least on my side, because I'm working with the city of Calvert. We just finished finishing up a course in the city of Bryan, a big 18-hole course. They put a lot of money into that course, and it's a really, really nice course. But to get to that point, you also have to spend the money. And so I think for the council and for the city itself is what do you want out of the course, and then how much money are you willing to put forth into it. And it's also, I was talking to my business partner, he's not here today, obviously. Yeah, he's actually running the shop right now. So he's working. I'm having fun. But we were talking about if you have, this is just a crazy number example. If you have $2,000 to spend, but really to get what you want, you need to spend $5,000. We need to like reevaluate what the city is trying to accomplish with the amount of money they have. Because if you just put in, we were talking about baskets the other day. Nice. So the baskets we just installed into City of Bryan, they are around $400 a piece. That's quite a bit of money. Plant 18, it's $8-9 grand all said and done. That's fully installed. So that's a lot of money, and that's one of the bigger expenses. So it's nice that disc golf is inexpensive compared to pickleball, for instance. We were talking about that. Pickleball, you have one court fits 4 people on it. I don't know how much one court costs, but disc golf you can put. I don't know how much concrete. So say $30,000 into a course, and it is going to be really, really nice, and it will draw people in kind of from all over the state. And then we would, because we're based out of College Station, we would come over, work with the city, host big tournaments at. We have one this weekend. So it's just kind of what you're looking to get out of the course would be my first recommendation. Is how much you want to spend, and then how nice or how prestigious, if you will.
But to be able to hold those tournaments, when you and I were talking,
Yes, sir.
you need to have the right baskets because you can't mix and match, and because tournaments are like golf tournaments. Everybody has to be on the same level.
Yes.
And when I first met with Josh and Spencer, and I said, I don't want to put any change on you to what are limits on this. I want you to design it where it could be a collegiate type of deal. And the first thing they said out of their mouth, y'all have to go to Waco for one of your tournaments. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because we'd love to have one of those tournaments, as you just mentioned, here in Caldwell, and y'all were mentioning it could bring as many as 200 people or 300 players at one time. Is that wrong?
Yeah. So there's the Pro Tour takes a big swing through Texas, and the Waco tournament brings in thousands of people. Like the people that run the tournament literally sell tickets to go watch it. So that is obviously like one extreme. For a lot of the tournaments that we run, we're looking at this weekend, we're probably bringing in 200 people into College Station just for this tournament this weekend.
Well,
200 players along with,
Around 100 players,
Okay.
plus,
Yeah.
wives, kids.
well, one of the examples is we have a worker for the city that is a true state champion horseshoe thrower. And I was talking to her just recently, about 2 months ago, and she said that about our horseshoe pits in the park, we want to redo them, update them, get them where they're supposed to be. Where else to go than to a champion? And then she said, well, Gary, I'm going to Buffalo, Texas, to a horseshoe championship, and there's 12 different states being represented at a horseshoe pitching championship. And they had it in Bryan College Station the year before. They'd had it several years in Buffalo at the Stampede. And they had it at Bryan last year. And everybody voted to go back to the small city, Buffalo, to have this tournament. And I envision something like that. If we can get something that can draw, that back part of the deal, you asked me how often it's used, and I think you did. That's when we were riding around. I wish you'd been with us the next day. The whole backside was walkers. So that's the vision that we're looking at. If this is something that we need to proceed with, I mentioned what the pickleball courts cost us, and you said, Lord have mercy, you could build a whole golf course on this. So
Yes, sir.
I don't know what the city budget, but if it's something that we can do, like I mentioned, I don't think we'd want to start off with cement and turf tee boxes, but that could be something as we could add to it. But if the layout is something that somebody that runs tournament like yourself and plays tournaments, by the way, how far did you say your guy can throw his
He can throw like 500 feet.
500 feet on a disc?
A frisbee, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
You can't see it when it comes down. But you designed this for collegiate type of play. Is that right? That's all I wanted to know. So,
And then can you present a proposal from like a medium level course to the upper level course? Just like a kind of a,
So baskets, I think there's kind of two thoughts. If you do it a once and done, like City of Bryan, once and done turnkey, clearing baskets, concrete, signage, everything finished, you're probably looking at a like top of the level, like 30,000. This is totally off the cuff. I have no idea.
Right.
I just know baskets cost that much. 20 to 30 grand. If you're wanting to, I don't actually know how much concrete costs for the tee pads. They're 6 by 12, 6-inch tee pads or something, 4-inch. There's something like that. If you were to do away with those and then maybe next year kind of reevaluate the budget, put those in, that would bring your cost down significantly. Because with the disc golf course, if you have this giant piece of land and you think, oh, man, $20,000, $30,000, it's a lot. It is a lot of money. I don't want to discredit how much money it is, but you look at the amount of land you get to use, and then how many people can be playing at any given moment. And there's ways to so the big expenses are baskets, concrete tee pads, signage is probably maybe $1,200 for signage, and that's tee pad signs, that's caution flying disc signs, because you want to think about safety and stuff like that. And then clearing the land itself. The guy that we use in Bryan College Station, he's about $2,000 a day, like everything finished.
And that's the mulcher.
Yes, sir.
That's mulching it, back dragging it, mulching it up. So no disposal, no burning. Just even if it's mesquite, oak, whatever.
I was very impressed because I've worked at fencing companies before, and we drop a mulcher through it, it leaves big chunks. They don't do that. They cut all the big stuff down, and then they back drag it to turn it into little chunks like this. So it's a lot safer. I tried to get him to hurry up one day, and I was like, "Don't worry about back dragging. We can't do that." So I highly recommend D4. So
Well, another thing, when I showed you the cross country courses, as Thomas is very well acquainted with, and how those have turned into just Bermuda grass. That those are. And then, you asked me how much this is mowed, and I said, well, most time it's mowed pretty level. The course the cross country is, but I mentioned that if we just mowed the fairways a little bit lower, you said what was there now was significant. So that was only like about 3 inches tall, and that was not.
Yes.
So I mean, if we clear this and we get Bermuda, which is some is in there already. Over time, it should take over.
Yes.
So, anything else y'all want to to bring up. I mean, this is the time, I believe this is the first time you've seen the long and short course. And I got it last week or week before, and I was out of commission there for a while with my surgery, but I want to thank y'all for coming out
Multiple times.
4 times that I know of, and in 110 degrees. And as I said, I've got a 3-disc deal. Y'all saw it, and then y'all come out with 18 discs and a basket for each shot in the world. So I figured that's out of my league. But we really appreciate y'all helping with this. If we decide to keep going forward, or are y'all still interested in following up with this, Dustin, are you willing to help us? Because we don't want to do it 3 times. And as I said, where the placements were, y'all saw there was nobody using it. And a lot of people when I brought it up to my friends, they didn't even know there was a course there.
Yep.
So, and then the ones that if we would go to 18, do y'all know somewhere where we could sell the ones we have? The 9. We got one stolen, so they must be valuable somewhere.
Yeah, they're not cheap. I don't know where you could sell that many. Potentially churches. Churches are always looking to put in courses and stuff like that. Those are. We talked about it the other day. If you have those 9 baskets, if you just bought 9 more of those are kind of entry level baskets. So for bigger tournaments, I wouldn't necessarily recommend them.
No, if we're going to have a tournament, we want to be able to get the 100 to 200 people here.
Yes.
I can speak for the council on that. I feel like, I'm sorry, I can't speak for the council, but that's the vision I think we want ahead. And just like the pickleball courts, we've already had 18 people on it the other day.
Yes.
Wait, so.
Yeah. I brought up top of my head, just Facebook Marketplace. You can sell them there. Any churches looking for stuff. That's a really good set of baskets like that. Is great for a small church course. So I don't think it would be terribly difficult. I don't know paperwork wise what that looks like, but.
Do any of you guys have any questions, comments?
Yeah, I do. So the short course and long course, I take it the only difference is where the tee box is. I'm gonna call it a tee box. I'm a golfer.
Yeah.
Where the tee box is, correct?
Yeah.
So can you do concrete for one and just something for the other, for the short
A lot of
course?
courses will have the one set of concrete in, and then you can move like stones or posts to mark like the shorter one.
Okay.
It's a little more flexible.
So the same baskets get used
Yes.
for all of them. And then will y'all help promote as far as bringing tournaments to Caldwell Forest?
My livelihood, my family's livelihood is largely based on running tournaments. So the idea of having another big course that we can utilize, because we drive all the way to Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, we drive all over the place. I've run, I don't know, 50 tournaments this year,
Okay.
all over the state, and having one that's closer is really, really nice.
Okay.
So, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but our company is one of the fastest growing companies in the state, largely because we do all these tournaments. And so the 100 people that are coming in to play our event, that is invite only. We have a dozen people trying to still get in. So the idea of having a course, we are absolutely going to,
Is it tournaments 18 holes, or are they 36 holes, or do
they're
they vary?
usually 2 rounds of 18.
2 rounds? Okay.
The bigger they get, the more rounds they get, so you can go up to 3, 4. We probably won't do any 5-round events because that's
Multiple days, or?
yes.
Okay.
So what other, like when you hold a tournament, well, I worry about, it's a long day, about other things like, are y'all gonna invite in food vendor? I'm just asking a question because,
It varies. We've not had any experience with that yet. We typically give people so it's 2 rounds in one day, most of our tournaments are like that. We give them about an hour and a half to go out and get lunch.
okay.
And so they would, go to kind of whatever's there. If it's a big event, kind of a 2-day type thing, we would absolutely be willing, to work with other food vendors and stuff like that. Again, I don't have any experience with that, so.
No, I'm just asking a question because I feel like, you know.
Well, that would be great if 100 people visited our local
Well,
restaurants
yes.
and stuff. So,
Oh, well, that's definitely, but I mean, how long does it take for an 18 hole? You know, is that 4 hours?
Not quite. Usually the fastest rounds, so like Research Park out there on campus, is about 2 hours. It's a really fast playing course. Park Hudson, the one in Bryan, is like 3 or 4 hours. But those are the two kind of extremes. So I imagine this one would probably be maybe like 3 hours just because of the wooded sections. Those take a little longer to play.
What is the total footage on this? I didn't look it up. You said you were gonna send it. I did not look it up. So you know?
Yeah, I don't, for the long ones, I think it was around 8,000 feet. For the short one, I'm trying to think it was 4,000 or 5,000. I don't remember off the top of my
Well,
head.
our original course was 27, 25 or something like that. The only saving grace we have, we did beat Brenham by about 20 feet. And it says in that right up on that course, holes are very close together. So that's why I mean, who wants to go play that? But if it's good enough for Texas A&M golf team to come out, then it's good enough for other people to want to come, and maybe we build on this, build the park up. But the park itself, as y'all said, the first time you drove up, I didn't know y'all at all. I had to call my wife out to meet y'all because I was so hyped up when I met y'all about it. But y'all mentioned the amenities we have, the restrooms, the parking, both sides, even when I mentioned that we have the school parking area just right up the road there, the pickleball, the landscape, and then y'all kept saying the trees. Oh, this would be perfect. This would be perfect. So I knew that there's a possibility here. I didn't know how gung-ho y'all really works, but anyway, I do appreciate it. Is there anything else any of y'all want to ask?
When are tournaments? Are they mostly in the spring and summer or,
Texas is great because we can kind of do it year round.
okay? And how long would it take to build this course roughly?
I think a year is kind of conservative just because, like we've been talking with Brian for about a year and a half now, and we're just now getting finished. But then you also have, obviously it's all the stuff you have to work through with the city. But then once you put a course in, you kind of want to play it for a bit and let it break in. Just because, you know, there'll be briars and stuff off the edges of the fairway, and you don't really want people playing in that, but you can't cut all of that immediately. So it just takes a little bit of time for the course to break in. And so, you know, best case, a year, if we were to like tomorrow hit the ground running. Just depends on how quickly everything progresses.
Stuart, John, Dustin, met you one time, but second time, I'm sure glad you had that smile on your face when you said about running tournaments, because that's the first thing you said when you were out there to me. So I can't thank y'all enough for your time, because I know y'all going to school, and Josh sent me 2 times, said, well, I can't make it this weekend, and school work is, and I told him, forget about this. School comes first. So thank y'all for coming tonight.
We just, you guys, with the council and staff to work with them and put together a budget and bring it back for an official vote.
Yep.
Yes. We'll do that. I'll either I or Forrest will get with y'all. We'll put together kind of, as the mayor said, maybe a medium level to top scenario. Good. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Y'all don't have to stay.
Y'all don't have to stay if you don't want. If you want to go back, I can't offer you food. You won't accept it. So.
Okay, onward. Award bid for FM 975 water line lowering project number 3901.020 in preparation for TxDOT road rehabilitation project.
So we've discussed this in several meetings before. We finally got all of our engineering done. We got the bids. The bids are, one of the bids is a little bit different than what was originally pushed out in your packet. We had to go back and check some quantities, or the contractor did. So I believe you have an updated bid in front of you from Elliott Construction for $135,860 to complete the work. We also have a bid from Travis Hobbs Construction for $136,171.70. We have a lot of experience using Elliott Construction. They are the low bid on this, so staff's recommendation would be to go with Elliott, but happy to answer any questions. Actually, I'll make Jeffrey answer the questions, but if you have any questions on the projects or on the bids themselves.
So you do have a recommendation?
Elliot, yes, ma'am.
Any, comments, guys? We have a motion to award the bid.
I move that we award the bid to Elliott Construction.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor of awarding the bid to Elliott Construction for water line lowering project, raise your right hand. All in favor, motion passes. Next, variance request for setback requirements by Juan Zermina. Jose. That's how I know you, is Jose. Located at 102 East Fawn Street, parcel ID number 16751.
Can I throw you an option? That's how I know. Okay, so what we started to do, and Forrest is unable to make it. I hope he's not watching because he's gonna see me butcher this thing. I'm gonna do his presentations for him. So what we started doing on some of these variances here, we want to tie it back to our comprehensive plan. And kind of, as we go through these, kind of paint a little bit of the picture as to why staff's giving the recommendation that we are. So this goes back to chapter 4 of our comprehensive plan, looking at goal 4.1 to promote diverse, inclusive housing options throughout the city. So when we look at that, we're looking at this particular area, code requirements that we have. You see the setbacks on your screen, and then the lot size minimum, width, and depth. So, and then for this area, this existing land use is commercial. So the area that we're talking about on this one is 102 East Fawn Street, and that's gonna be right next to the Rodney, correct?
Like behind it,
Yes, like it's.
kind
right
of
next to
behind their parking lot.
To the left of it, where the user parkings right now. That vacant is gravel right now.
Yes.
It's behind the Loudmouth music building.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're looking at here's the variance. So the width of this is gonna be 56.71. So that there's a variance for the minimum depth of the property, as well as, so of course that takes away from the square footage. And then the setback on the side, they're also requesting a variance as far as that goes. So you'll note on this screen that the future land use is an urban mixed use. So as we try to bring some development into that area. And then here's kind of a rendering of the proposed rental property. And I will I'm not sure if you want to speak on this or if you have any questions. But that's kind of what we're looking at. So you're looking at 2 structures in that area, correct?
It's pretty straightforward. If you don't have any questions, it would be two single-family rental properties, 2-bedroom, 2-bath each, 1,020 square foot each, with their parking spots in front as well.
So this would back up to the back part of these buildings would be pointing toward the Rodney.
They would back up to the side of the Rodney. Have you seen where they have their dumpster at right now?
Yes,
They have it on this property. It's not theirs.
yeah.
But it would be right there.
That's what I'm saying, between the building and the White House that's there now and the Rodney is here. That area in between.
It's where you park in the gravel park.
That's what I'm trying to make sure.
Right across from the
Fire
fire
station.
station.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
So their backyard would be the Rodney wooden fence.
Yes, sir. The back of them would be the Rodney. Yes, sir.
I know they like that. Well, they have live concerts there. I mean,
I would like it. Free live music. So everybody else.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can read the rest of the report, I'm sure I'll have.
I'm looking. So the backyard would be 15 foot from the property line?
Yes, sir.
Is there gonna be underground utilities or?
Yes, sir. Underground.
These are similar, well, it's not truly similar, but like the ones off of O'Neill, the frontage of it and everything else, is that, are these similar to those?
I don't know which one.
Okay.
The one just built.
The ones you just built, just
Oh,
renting
okay,
one
okay.
side already?
These ones are smaller.
Okay,
They're much narrower and
Okay.
2 stories.
okay.
Those
yeah.
were 1 story.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I meant, same type of
Setup.
setup,
Yes, sir.
it's just a little bit different on width and 2 story.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of the same facade on the front.
Mhm.
Any other discussion, guys? We have a motion to accept the variance request for setback requirements located at 102 East Fawn, parcel ID number 16751.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of accepting the variance request, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Next, variance request for setback requirements by Patricia Novosad, located at 219 West Buck Street, parcel ID number 16667.
Thank you. So looking back at our comp plan, this particular variance, is gonna target the economic development part, especially goal 6.4, promote downtown Caldwell as a vibrant economic and cultural center. So this is gonna be the building right across the street here that's been under destruction for quite a while now. So these are your code requirements in the area. Existing land use is designated as commercial. So where we're at, this is why I don't normally do this. So of course, here you got the same thing. So the minimum width on this is 30 feet. We've got the depth, but we're really looking for 0 setbacks all around. And again, since it's downtown area, you're looking at urban mixed use for the future land use if we're looking at our comprehensive plan. So if we were to go back to where we're doing the setbacks, I mean, there's no way that they can really do anything with that property. We've got some examples of kind of what it used to look like, and for it to kind of continue to fit in with what we've got, it's something that, we're gonna have to issue a variance on. As we look at it coming back, I mean, if we were to go back and say, okay, 20 feet back that way, and there's nothing we can do with it. But,
Well,
I don't know where they found these pictures, but they're pretty cool.
well, on the,
So that picture there, is that 000, pretty much?
Yes,
I mean, that's what it would look like if.
correct. Yes, that's
So
correct.
be the same.
Yeah.
It essentially just said, this is just kind of,
It's not asking for any variance at the back where the road came through. That was already ground zero anyway, basically. Okay.
yeah, if we go back, it's front, side, and rear, be 0 setback.
Now,
And we still don't have a full plan for this, but this is just kind of another step to get
didn't they just do some core samples about 2 months ago?
aware.
Okay, they had a core company there, driven some cores. And I was just wondering, has she decided what she's gonna do with it yet? Okay. But if it's. Come on.
Any other discussion, guys? Okay,
I
we have,
move that we accept this setback. Patricia Novosad.
Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, motion passes. Next, plat waiver request for setback requirements by Nachos Armino located at 601 North Temple, parcel ID number 17272.
Okay, so this is going back to chapter 4 again, so we're promoting diversity, flexible and inclusive housing options throughout the city. The address on this one is 601 North Temple Street. So if I remember the history on this, again, we normally have a width size of minimum 55, depth of 100. We know the setbacks, existing land use, it's just vacant. And then what we're looking at future land use to be as urban residential. I'm not sure how many months ago, but we administratively approved a minor plat, making this all one property. It used to be what, 3 small lots?
It used to be 3 trailer house lots.
So 3 trailer house lots, and the original plan was to go forward and make it back into 1 lot and put 3 trailer homes on 3 manufactured homes.
2 lots.
2 lots. Well, where we're at now, because I don't know the story very well. This is what we had done several months ago administratively. What we're looking at now is breaking this 1 lot that we have into 2 lots that they would both be 45 feet wide and 115 feet deep. And you would be looking at 2 residential structures on there. I'll let you take it from there. You want to talk about the
So there's narrower houses that are 27.9, we'll call it 28. So we still have that 7.5 foot setback that you guys want. It would just be reducing the space a little bit due to the reduced size of the existing lot now. It would put 2 new 1207 square foot houses with a front porch and a back porch, as well as parking spot in the front. We're currently building 3 off of MLK that are just like this ones. So if y'all want to drive by, y'all can see them. It'll be just like those, different elevations in the front, but same floor plan. And that's pretty much 3 bedroom, 2 bath, single family, individual.
So really the variance here is for the width of the lot and the overall square footage.
Any discussion, guys?
In this report, it says the request falls in line with recommendations of the Envision Caldwell comprehensive plan.
You got 25 front, 25 back.
I make a recommendation that we grant that.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of approving the plat waiver request for setback requirements located at 601 North Temple, parcel ID number 17272, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Next,
I'm doing really good.
you are.
Well, you hadn't turned anything down.
Plat waiver for easement requirements for White Tail Run subdivision located at North Main Street, also known as the Yuleen Lear Estate, parcel ID number 12242 and 1224.
So we're going to align this with community facilities as far as the comprehensive plan goes. This is going to be for upgraded and well-planned utilities and infrastructure to serve community needs. So basically, this has not come in front of the council yet. We hope to bring this next month. So this is kind of a precondition that we wanted to address and go ahead and have the council approve before we say, yeah, go ahead and do this on your plat. So normally we call for a 20-foot utility easement in the front of lots. They're requesting a 14-foot utility easement in front of lots and 10 foot on the side of the lots adjacent to right away. I will tell you that we have granted this to Arrowhead Farms and Quinn Waters in all their plats. So I mean, this just kind of falling in line with that. But let's see. So we know it's undeveloped right now. So in the future land use is suburban residential. I'd like to refine this back to our comp plan now. There is a preliminary plat of proposed development. So it shows in here The preliminary plat is for 123 lots, single family residential. And this is just kind of step one. If the council decides to issue this variance, then they can bring this forward hopefully next month.
So all the utilities will be underground if they're using a 14-foot.
I'm not sure about electric. We haven't had that conversation.
I mean, I think that's the only reason you can get, I mean, that's the whole reason you have 20-foot, right? Am I right?
Give us a little bit more room. I mean, they're asking for 14.
And then, what is their, what is on the side, 10 foot? So,
Yeah.
Just hard for y'all to get a bucket truck in the back if they were to.
Right. I think a setup like this, we would request under.
That's just- And then what about water retention? Is that these corners?
I think it's,
I can't see it well enough on here. Let me see what I can look at the next one. You'll see it when that preliminary plat comes forward. We haven't even seen that yet. It should be this, document right here. It's in your packet. I don't have it on the slide. And I can't really read it. It's pretty small, but we can definitely discuss that next month. As part of the preliminary plat that we'll have to address.
All right, just for my clarification, where exactly is this?
Behind Walmart.
Behind Walmart, okay,
So that's your right behind
okay.
that road parallel to Walmart.
Was it one single house is in the pasture?
Yeah.
Okay.
at the very top of the, where it says preliminary plat, the stuff underneath that, is that what would go all the way up to the back of those Gray Street houses?
I don't have enough, no.
No, it doesn't
Because
go
that's
all
the
the way up.
Montez property.
Oh, that's right, you're right. It doesn't go all the way up, does it?
That's what I gathered.
Okay, you're right, you're right, you're right. 'Cause there's that strip that was gonna be Champion Forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a dead issue on that, just about since it's brought up?
There's been different conversations with different developers. Eventually something will come out of it.
Okay.
The issue that we've had on a lot of the development on that side is basically a wastewater capacity side and it's kind of hard for the developers, to bite off that much because they may be looking at $1 billion in off-site improvements that you've got to make in order to serve that whole area with wastewater.
Is this gonna affect that area?
This will be, again, I don't have enough of the details, but we'll have to see which way it will sewer to see. Yeah, I mean, we may have to have some of those discussions. But I don't have enough information just off of this to say one way or the other.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the plat waiver for easement requirements for Whitetail Run subdivision, parcel ID number 12242 and 1224? Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor of approving the plat waiver for easement requirements, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Next, resolution number 202310B, that the city of Caldwell will not enforce any mandates imposed nationally or by the state of Texas. I want Mr. Novak to elaborate on
This is
that.
what I was trying to bring up. I didn't do a very good job last meeting about this, but this was the letter that I had read from State Representative Brian Harrison that suggested, since the state of Texas didn't put anything into force about the federal government mandating the citizens of Texas, this is a way that we can show our support that we have our rights and not be forced to do something because the government, the federal government or the state, I don't think the state of Texas would ever do it, but the federal government mostly force us to do something that it goes, against our beliefs, our religious, whatever it is. I like that it also included the businesses, requiring them to shut down. I mean, let us govern ourselves, not somebody tell us what to do from Washington. But anyway, so I thank y'all for following up with this and researching it. But I highly recommend that we implement this resolution.
For those of you, I don't know if you have access to seeing it. I was very excited to see this was on the agenda today, and I hope, I can't say how I hope you vote. Anyway, basically, it says that the government can't make us wear a mask. The government isn't going to shut your business down. The government is not going to tell you you have to stay in your home and you can't go anywhere. It's not going to put law enforcement, making you go arrest someone because they're not wearing a mask or following the rules that Washington says we have to. Anyway, and I'm very thankful that Kevin found this and brought this to us. And do we have a motion to accept this resolution?
So
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of accepting resolution number 202310B, that the city of Caldwell will not enforce any mandates imposed nationally or by the state of Texas, raise your right hand. Motion passes. Next, a resolution number 202310C, authorizing the purchase of approximately 0.22 acres of real property located at 114 South Eccles Street and approximately 0.63 acres of real property located at 104 Buck Street from Citizens State Bank.
Sorry, I lost my PowerPoint, but we're getting close to the end.
Sorry.
What are we talking
Yeah, right.
about? Okay. Let me see where I'm at. All right, so last month we discussed this real estate purchase in executive session. The council director made order an appraisal and to draft a contract for the purchase of this property. We did that. Staff has done that. What I want to say today is that our draft contract was brought back to us. It was countered from the current owners to add some carrying costs that were involved over the last several months. So where we're at on price for this is $1,075,000. I have the appraisal done. I don't have everything in front of me. I've just got the numbers, and the appraisal is favorable for that figure. So with that, I'll answer any other questions that y'all may have related to the purchase of that or contract or really anything regarding that building. If you look at that contract, I believe there's, just remember off the top of my head, there's a 40-day inspection period that we would utilize. Anything that would come up in that would give us the option to terminate that contract. As we discussed before, obviously we're still looking for at least a temporary solution as far as housing employees here. We're out of space. We're kind of looking for different ways to accommodate folks, but then the potential for utilizing that space for economic development definitely is there after we cease to use it.
Well, there's two economic development areas with this purchase, right?
There would be, yes. So this purchase actually included, it also, thank you for that, includes the motor bank area as well. So, if the council decides to move forward with that, we would also, not at this time, but at a later date, we need to discuss, how we would see that developing or how we would see that use.
I'll make a motion, we move forward.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of moving forward with resolution number 202310C, authorizing the purchase of the property at 114 South Eccles and at 104 Buck Street from Sixth State Bank, raise your right hand. Motion passes.
Can you give me the amount?
$1,075,000. Okay, next, Department of Community Reports.
I'm sorry to hear.
No?
I do have good news from Forrest. The RCP grant that we applied for, this has been quite a while. We've been waiting to hear on that. That specifically was purposed for us to look into zoning for the city of College Station, or College Station, wherever.
Caldwell. You're Caldwell.
I'm having a rough week. I couldn't tell.
It's just Tuesday.
So anyway, it would, and we're not sure what that looks like, but this grant will help us to walk through that process, get citizen input. You know, we looked to do this quite a while ago. I think y'all should remember it. I want to say it's been at least 9 months since the council agreed to let us go out for this grant. But we did get it, so we'll be working with GrantWorks to kind of fine tune all of that stuff. You'll council will be involved. We'll have citizen involvement in that. In the meantime, we're going to be working on updating subdivision ordinance as well as infrastructure design guidelines. Hopefully we'll have that done by the end of the year. But all of that will come back together to kind of help guide us as we grow in the future. That's it from him. I have a lot of stuff. That EDA project, this is a project that we have over in the industrial park. It did their final pour, so that project is at substantial completion. We still have to tie in the water line that runs down Access Road. And we're just gonna wait until we're a little bit more stable on all of our water rehab projects, the well projects. We have both wells 3 and well 6 up and running. VFD is installed. They've been doing really well for us, so we're pleased to do that. We have started on, or Weisinger started on well 5 on that rehab project. Start today or yesterday? Today.
They mobilized today.
One of the things I'm really excited about, and it's kind of back and forth, the Santa Fe Park, so right over there by the railroad tracks. Caldwell First Assembly Church came to me and they want to set up a work day. And as a part of that work day, they want to come out and do some work at some of the city parks. So we looked at that park, figured out, or we're trying to come up with the plan to just kind of facelift, freshen it up. We talked about everything from painting that pavilion to tearing that pavilion down. There's playground equipment over there that's in need of some help. Thomas is chasing down some of the details on that. If we're able to order at least the pieces that we need to fix that up, then we'll do that. If not, we may need to take that down. But those are some of the projects that we're looking at. I'm happy to take any kind of feedback that y'all might have, but I just think it's great that they want to partner with us and kick this project off. And, you know, they kind of have plans to keep this as part of their work days coming in the future, just to keep doing extra stuff out there, really bring that park back to life. But any ideas on that, feel free to shout them out at me.
We went there yesterday and the big playground thing, very dangerous.
And 2 platforms and the stairs,
Yes.
they're searching for them.
But also, we had talked earlier about taking some of the park equipment from the Coppers Hollow Park because it's just grown up, and just either take some of it to Santa Fe and some to Freeman and share the love of those, and you know, more things for more kids at the parks that are used more. So I think it's did you say, Gary, it's a 6-seat swing?
It's a 6
At Coppers Hollow.
At Coppers Hollow.
And there's they're painted picnic tables and a bench, and then 2 horses and a little seesaw thing. So if we could get those removed and just placed at Freeman or Santa Fe, wherever you would think would be, they would.
Well, Thomas, you brought up the idea, you know, when you put those kid swings on and we took one big swing off, the one in the subdivision of Copper's area, what if we just order one more stand and put 2 more swings down here at the Davison Park and use those 4 swings wherever we need to put
If you have the safety area to put it, that's something we gotta
them. Okay.
check on. You got certain areas to go in there, but we can measure it out and just see then.
That way we get, we
Yeah, you
lost
need more
one,
of
we
the-
could
more
gain
of the big
2
people swings.
because the baby swings the other day, once again, they're full every time I go by. So that was a good deal.
Well, Thomas and I will work with, Pastor Dick and figure out what's the best approach and how we can bring that to life. I'm just excited. They talked about painting the swing set, redoing some of the chains and swings, and happy to partner with them. We'll see some activity tomorrow around New City Hall. We had that fence that's been around there has been something that we've rented, since we're still going through the process of arbitration. We've gone ahead and purchased one, and so they're gonna be picking theirs up. We're putting ours out, save some money that way. Last thing I'll touch on, the ARPA project that we're working on. So that's the 2 lift stations, Big Grill, Caldwell Country. We had bid openings last week. We only had 1 respondent, 1 person that put in for it. The bids were about $1.5 million over what we expected them to be. So our base combined,
Okay.
yes. So for the money that we have allotted for this, we can barely afford more. So Jeffrey and I are looking at possibly rebidding the project. Some of the feedback that we heard was just everybody's way too busy right now, so they couldn't take the project on now. It may be something they can take on in 4 to 5 months. So we're going to continue to evaluate that. The cost opinion was a little bit over $1 million for 2. It came in at $2.5 million. So we're going to look at different ways that we can work to accommodate that project. It's something that we need. Both those lift stations are way past into life. I really want to get both of them in. So we will decide if we, I mean, I'm open to y'all's opinion. If there's a consensus, hey, let's rebid it in a few months and see what we got. Do that, but I hate to take the 1 bid being that much over.
I think you need multiple bids, and I think after the first of the year, I think it'll be a different.
Okay. Take that. Appreciate the feedback. That's all I have.
Oh, I hadn't been out and about, but I did drive by Cat Fleet the other day and they were putting in their emergency generator out there already. And we talked to the electrician. He said their company got to keep their contract. So they're putting junction boxes and everything inside and wiring. But he said he told me he thinks everything else has to be rebid. So that's why there's not much going on except electrical. And you may know a lot more than me, but he said that luckily they told him that their bid was safe. So, but there's only one guy out there a day or 2. So I haven't been out and about, so I can't ask anything.
Mr. Novak?
Are we still working on the signs down at the park?
We are. We need to get back on it, work on it a little bit more diligently.
Okay, that's all. The signage and.
A storm blew out that sign there in the front, and then we are looking to update some of the other signs. Some of our park employees were asking for some different trail signs, which I think is great. So I know Thomas and I have talked about it. We'll pick it back up.
Chief Barnes,
Yes, ma'am.
do you anticipate any issues with traffic on Saturday coming through Caldwell, Texas for the 34,000 visitors to Snook?
So the event planner does have they do have a plan
Okay.
in place for that. And I foresee that I know that every light is going to be manned in case we have to direct traffic manually through town.
Beginning at what time?
All day that day.
All day.
So there is going to be quite an influx of traffic. I do know that. So
Okay.
Hopefully there's no problems. Hopefully we get them all through and out fairly quickly.
Are you guys going?
Um,
We don't know, okay.
I have a question. I did get to drive around. It looks like Trust Works gonna be here a long time. Is that a new building they built for their offices back there? Man, that's nice. That's a great addition. So anyway,
I saw, that parking is $36 per car.
I'm not going.
That's insane.
That you can charge it to Tennessee.
Take a car. They have all these lots and anyway, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I met with Forrest and Caden Roski, the high school helper for here, who's by the way doing a fantastic job. He was showing me some things he's worked on. He's amazing. He was showing me that citizens work order request where you can go online and request that your limbs be picked up, fill the pothole in front of my house. You know what I'm saying? And it's just takes a couple of clicks, but will be a great tool for our citizens once that gets up and running. So I'm very excited about that. Mr. McCall?
I just want to say thank you to Gary and these guys that come out and, you know, I think that'll be a good thing and, looking forward to that.
have you ever known college kids to turn down food or drinks? I had to give it to the city helpers. They wouldn't take it. So they've been wonderful to work with and they put up with me. Thank you for thanking them.
Mr. Enrique?
Anything, any updates on the other projects, drainage?
No, everything's still, we're waiting on that amended scope to be approved. Still waiting. That's it.
Forrest had mentioned there might be a workshop later at the end of this month. Is there a date set for that yet?
We have not said that. I need to, go back and check my emails and make sure that I've got everything lined up correctly.
I was gonna go to Rogers on the
Next Monday.
but they canceled it. I wanted to go look at that road repair zipping. I was gonna see if anybody.
The asphalt zipper,
No?
they bug me and bug me and bug me.
Our
No,
roads.
can't work miracles with them.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go look just.
Do we have a motion
I like
to adjourn?
learn.
Make a motion.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Hey, get y'all some cookies. You need all those.
We don't need them.
Yeah. You know what? I can't believe that you did that to me. She didn't turn my. It was not.
Well, I
Do you, are you slipping? I thought for sure.
He's not here. Yeah. Good job, fellas. Worth my money.
I talked today about the ordinance. that we brought up. Everybody's. I told Dr. about it. He was like, absolutely.